the pre-match meeting live. It is the first time we are ever having the pre-match meeting here in Cincinnati.
Yay.
Thank you guys for coming out. Kevin McCloskey, Alex Steck, we are at Buffalo Wings and Rings here in Oakley. If you're just tuning in, come on out, come join us. It's going to be lots of fun. You ready to have some wings?
I'm ready.
Some beer, some Heineken?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Cheers. Cheers to this, Kev.
Cheers. Absolutely.
Heineken Rivalry Week, and It's Hell is Real, Part 2.
All right.
What did you think of Part 1?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a very entertaining game.
Yeah.
Certainly set up, the right way. Hopefully, the game on Sunday can promise as much excitement. Hopefully, this time 3 points. I thought it was terrific. I think the fans certainly showed up. It was a great atmosphere. And going into Sunday, as I said, I think it's going to be very exciting.
So we had probably over 1,000, 1,100 fans, something like that, FC Cincinnati fans in Columbus. So let's just multiply that. There's going to be 29,000 more on Sunday?
Yeah.
What an environment.
No, absolutely. I think, the first time that our fans, FC Cincinnati fans, will see the Columbus Crew come to Nippert Stadium in MLS, I think is going to be a massive milestone. I think this week obviously been very, very special with the fans getting behind the team on social media. A lot of fans already in the streets wearing the uniforms, the scarves. But to see Sunday packed in Nippert Stadium, I think is going to be very special.
Yeah, how about that merch trade-in this week? Take
your
crew gear in, 30%
nice
off the FCC gear. I love it. I said, oh, sorry guys, I took all my crew gear in when I left. Took a whole bucket into the office and said, I'm not going to wear this. You guys have it.
That wasn't your idea, was it?
No, it was not. No,
it was
not. I
genius.
cannot take credit for that.
Okay.
I love it, though. Tomorrow, people can still do it. And it's going to be a blue out on Sunday. So we're both wearing our blue now.
Yeah.
Not wearing the same thing,
Yeah.
thankfully. But plenty of merchandise. If you guys haven't gone to the downtown store, you can get it there. This scarf, Ohio is orange and blue. I love it. People called me out for making Kikuta Mane hold the scarf.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's fine, right?
It's fine. Well, he's
right
an
guy to
FC
do it.
Cincinnati player now, so
Right. Ohio's orange and blue.
it's all in the past. Yeah.
So we're going to have lots of fun on Sunday, but today we have an excellent show lined up for you. Plenty of great guests joining us. We're having head coach Ron Jans. We're having GM Gerard Nykamp. Yeah. Special FCC player. I'm looking at him right now, Jimmy McLaughlin.
Yo.
And then someone that you're a little familiar with as well.
Paul Nicholson.
All right.
I
Nico,
see him.
yeah, coming back from his days in FCC. So that's all coming up after this, but want to talk through the first game just a little bit. When you looked at that matchup, so first half, really, really good performance from the Orange and Blue, I thought. It's Ron Jan's first game at the helm. He had about 3 days to prepare this team, but a lot of pressing from the wingers, the attacking players, very demanding physically, but I thought they were successful when they got the ball wide and then attacked, got numbers into the box.
Honestly, I think it was a dream start for obviously the new head coach and the team. Obviously going up 2-0, I think was a great start. I think just the way they pressed, the intensity, the attitude on the field as well, I think was there for all to see. And it really did set up for a fantastic match.
Yeah, you have Darren Maddox scoring the first goal in this derby. He gets kind of a header, kind of a shoulder ball on that corner from Victor Ulloa.
It still went in.
Exactly, goal's the goal, but 2 assists in the last 2 games for Victor Ulloa. He got a little bloodied in the first matchup. Hopefully no more blood drawn on Sunday. We'll see.
I think, I think that game, you talk about Victor, obviously Ledesma, and Darren Maddox scored as well, but I thought there was a lot of good individual performances too. Obviously things to improve on for the second game, because I know Coach is hungry for those 3 points on Sunday, but I think they've had enough time to collect the trends and the data and hopefully prepare well for Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting atmosphere on Sunday. We even have some tickets to give away. So if you guys stay tuned, if you're watching at home, we're going to let you know how you could win those tickets and even your own Ohio's orange and blue scarf.
Nice scarf.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you are just watching now, come join us at Buffalo Wings and Rings down in Oakley. Kevin McCloskey, Alex Steck. We will be right back with our head coach, Ron Jans.
FC Cincinnati. Columbus Crew.
Intended for Zardes. Diaz back. Zardes ties the game.
Join us Sunday, August 25th at 6 p.m. for Heineken Rivalry Week as FC Cincinnati rivals Columbus Crew. Secure your tickets today at fccincinnati.com.
Prematch meeting live from Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. We're getting you set for the Hell is Real Derby Part 2, FC Cincinnati hosting the Columbus Crew on Sunday in a nationally televised contest. Alex Steck, Kevin McCloskey, and we are now joined by head coach Ron Jans. Ron, I got to cheers you to this Heineken Rivalry Week. Perfect.
Cheers.
What are your thoughts on Heineken? You know, Dutch beer, right?
My mom always told me never on camera with alcohol, but we make an exception for Heineken.
I love it. Heineken Rivalry Week. We got to fuel the rivalry. So, Ron, your first game as head coach, you came in August 5th, had about 3 days to get this group prepared, and then you had to coach a rivalry match. What was your first experience with that?
I think this game you will always remember. It's your first game. And then against the rivals, and you are leading after 30 minutes with 2-0. So you said, is this a dream? Is this real? But hell is real, so it went into 2-2.
Were you surprised by this mic? Sorry. Were you surprised by kind of the atmosphere and the energy? Obviously, it was your first game in MLS. You've played in massive games in Europe, Champions League games, obviously games in Holland as well. But were you surprised by the energy, by the atmosphere?
Yes, and not by the Cincinnati fans, because I know they are great and they were great, but they told me that not a lot of people were coming to the home games from Columbus. But I think the home crowd, they did well. There was a good attendance, and the atmosphere was really exciting and positive, and a rivalry, a derby. Yeah, good.
So, Ron, what are you expecting for Sunday then? If you think you've seen our fans now in Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium a couple times, but to see just that many fans, the rivalry, the energy in Columbus, are you expecting kind of a different level of energy from our fans in the entire stadium on Sunday?
I hope maybe there are some more than average, and they will support us, I think, all the 90 minutes and even the 90 plus minutes. And it can give us extra energy, and for us it's a big challenge and a big chance to make something out of the season, because if you draw away and you win at home against the rival, maybe it makes up a little bit for the bottom of the table.
So Columbus, obviously you've seen them live, you've obviously studied, you've analysed them as well. Do you think they've changed? What are you expecting for Sunday's game? Much of the same, something different, or?
Yeah, I could tell Wednesday they think this is a very important game, because they didn't play some good players, starting members like Zades and Trapp and Santos Carmen during halftime. So they know what to do in Cincinnati. But I think I've got a very special feeling. This week we had a good training session. We have to learn from the mistakes maybe we made in possession, especially, and losing the ball too much and too quick against New York. But I think this will be a great and awesome game.
So, Ron, not to add any pressure, but the game is on national TV. So what can America as a whole expect from their first impressions of you as a head coach, as a person, when they see you on a national stage?
Yeah, but it's not about me. What I saw the first two games was a fighting spirit in the team, and I think even if the game against New York after the 1-3, it was a little bit over, but we tried to stay and score another goal. And the intensity, we have a lot of shots on goal. We scored goals. We are pressing very high, and we are going to continue doing that.
So forget about Columbus, right? Let's talk about FC Cincinnati. I know as a coach, that's your most important focus, right? Is on the team that you have. You've obviously been here for a few weeks. I think maybe over 10 training sessions, close to 10 training sessions, maybe a little bit more. But how close do you think the team are now, or the understanding levels of your principles, your expectations? Do you think you're getting close, a lot more work? Obviously, it's a big spectrum, right? But since you've come in, have you been kind of satisfied with how far they've grown in that time?
Yeah, but they learn, they understand now more the way we should play. and it's not only me, it's the whole staff, and it's the way FC Cincinnati should play. But they're not coming close at all because you cannot do so much in 2.5 weeks, and so you practice a lot in pre-season. I miss that. So we will have to continue to on the short term to get the most important things into the team, and I think we're doing fine. But it's all when we win this game, I think we can kind of coming to the kind of a flow and get more confidence. When you lose it, there's the danger that they think the season is over yet, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's never over.
Yeah.
Ron, stepping off the field for a second, it hasn't been a long time since you've been in Cincinnati, but your wife is here today. How are you guys settling into the city?
There's so much coming towards us, and with the housing, but the people, the neighbors, they're so nice. Everybody, the fans, look at them. They're really great. I found a great record shop because I like music a lot. So we are settling in very fine. We love it over here, but it's not easy. The bureaucracy
The bureaucracy. Yeah.
in the United States. You have to wait a long time for your visa, for your social security number. So that's sometimes it's hard, and you have to wait a long time and wait again. But we love it. We really love it, and we have a very nice house.
How have you adapted to the weather? So I'm from Ireland. I've been here 20 years, and I'm still not used to it. So it's very hot and humid, right?
I like today because it was Dutch weather.
Yeah.
19 degrees Celsius. Great to train, not too warm, but the temperature. It looks like a little bit we're on holiday,
Yeah.
and sometimes it feels a little bit like that, but we have to work hard, and that's no problem.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out here. We're looking forward to Sunday's match, and we talked to a couple of the players as well to get their thoughts on the first rivalry match and what's coming up on Sunday.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Can I
it.
take my beer with me?
Yes.
My first impression of the rivalry in Columbus, I think was the intensity, the way the fans look at it, and the way we played, because it was a battle from the beginning until the end, so I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, I think this is an important series for us. I think, you only get to play your first series one time, and so this is an opportunity to start the rivalry with a leg up and really, have bragging rights for the state of Ohio.
I expect for this second match the same intensity or even a little bit more, the same battle. And obviously, what I really expect, and I know it's going to happen, is that we're going to have a sold-out crowd in Newport Stadium, so it's going to be really, really nice environment.
It was a battle. You saw the intensity of both teams. We both wanted to win. It was more than just 3 points on the field. There was blood drawn, literally. I experienced it firsthand, but we wanted to do this for our fans. They've been amazing. They've been supporting us throughout the whole season. And I mean, we had an amazing fan group down in Columbus. We can't wait to be in front of our home fans.
Welcome back to the pre-match meeting live from Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. Alex Steck, Kevin McCloskey. And now we are joined by OG Jimmy McLaughlin. Jimmy, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Ron Jan's a tough act to follow, huh?
I know it's going to be difficult to top that, and I'm not expecting to. So if I could just be right below that, I'll be happy
Yeah,
with
I mean, you got a Heineken, you got some wings. Like
this is the life. I'll tell you
You
what.
haven't touched the Heineken though. I wonder why.
No, of course not. No.
I didn't touch mine at the break. No, Jimmy, thank you for coming out. Seriously, though, I mean, you've been working your butt off. We see you out there every day at training. I know rehab is not an easy road. So how's everything been going? How are you recovering?
Yeah, I mean, it's all going really well. It's all going according to plan. It's not how I drew up this season, obviously. It's been my dream to play with FC Cincinnati in MLS, and it's what we've been working towards the last 3 years. So obviously devastating when it happened, but there's only two ways to look at it, and it's either you can be upset about it and fret about it, or you can use it as an opportunity to get better, and that's what I'm doing, and it's given me a chance to improve on some things that are my weaknesses, and like my strength, and all different agility moves and everything like that. So yeah, I mean it's going really well, and I have a great team helping me out every single day.
Well, I think we're all confident you're going to come back stronger. Obviously a tough injury to face and a tough, not just physical but mental challenge to get over. How important have the fans been for you with that support in Cincinnati?
I mean, it's been fantastic. The support and love that I've got, and throughout the whole process has really been a driving factor for me, and a daily motivation when I'm going through these tough moments of the rehab. I mean, exactly what you said. Honestly, mentally, it's harder than the physical aspect of it. I mean, every single day is a grind. I'm in the gym alone. I mean, I'm just now getting back on the field and doing some stuff with the coaches on a one-on-one basis. But just having that support from the fans, and it's motivating to me. And I every single day I think about stepping back on Nippert again and having my chance to play in front of the fans.
Is it almost helpful to do some of that rehab out on the field, on the soccer field, so that you know exactly what you're working back toward?
So much better. Oh my gosh. I mean, the first, I guess, 4 or 5 months was completely in the gym or in the training room, and it gets lonely in there. I'll tell you what. I mean, everyone's out of practice, having a good time, having a laugh, and going on the trips. And I mean, you're not as part of the group as you have been in the past, And there's inside jokes and friendships that are growing through these experiences, and I'm not part of them. So just being out on the pitch and being around the guys, and even just passing the ball with some of the guys before they start training, it makes me feel more connected, and it shows me that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think obviously it's a challenge again, like you said. It can be a lonely place coming back from recovery too, but you've got a group of teammates as well. Any particular teammates that have been very important to you that have kind of put their arm around you at the right time and encouraged you as you went through this recovery journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Manu and Greg Garza have been amazing to me. I mean, Manu's been one of my good friends since last season, and Greg's been suffering through a couple tough injuries this year. So being able to go through this with a player of his caliber who's played at the highest level and has dealt with serious injuries before has been really nice for me mentally, and to have him kind of guide me through the process and keep me hungry and keep me motivated, and reminding me that I can come back a better player than ever before has been truly amazing for me. So I'm so grateful for him and for Manu just supporting me every single day, and just telling me to think about the moment when I get to step back on Nippert again.
Jimmy, you've been a part of creating a lot of great memories for the fans of FC Cincinnati so far, and one of which was the first Hell Israel Derby match when that occurred in the Open Cup. When you think back on that match, do you have some good memories?
Yeah. I mean, what a game. I mean, the whole Open Cup run in general was spectacular, and it's funny because the first season that we played in the Open Cup, we all were dreaming of playing against Columbus, and we had a chance to. If we would have beaten Tampa, I think we would have played Columbus. So ever since the club originated, I mean, this is what we wanted. You wanted this Ohio rivalry and the chance to play against the top team in the state. So when we finally did get the chance after, I think we beat Louisville, to play Columbus, everyone's buzzing. We knew the fan base was buzzing, but you go into one of those games and you're just expecting to give them a tough game. We're going in hoping that we're going to win, but obviously they're the big favorites and we're the underdogs. We've got nothing to lose. And as the game kept going and we kept hanging in there, and then finally, I'll never forget the goal, and I've never seen anything really like it. Gibi heads the ball to himself about 20 feet in the air and somehow heads it over a looping header over the goalkeeper, and I'll never forget the eruption in the stadium and just the pandemonium that followed. I mean, it truly was remarkable, and I think the start of putting FC Cincinnati on the national stage.
How are those moments for you? I mean, you've not just Columbus as well as Chicago, and you've witnessed some fantastic performances and occasions at Nippert Stadium. Do you think it's a dream still?
I mean, it's unbelievable to look back on. I mean, sometimes I'll see a clip on Twitter or on YouTube that somebody will post, and I mean those 3 games in particular. I mean, the Columbus game, the Chicago game, and even the New York Red Bull game in the semifinal. I mean, those are something out of a movie. I mean, the Chicago game is literally a picture-perfect script. I mean, they were the top team in MLS at the time. We go to penalty kicks. Mitch Hildebrandt made 3 unbelievable saves, and the stadium erupts. And then the Red Bulls game, obviously in the semifinal, we're winning 2-0, and you have the heartbreak loss. But I mean, I think that's what's so special about this club. It keeps topping itself, and it creates these moments that you never really thought were possible. I mean, I remember the first season, we didn't even think we were going to have fans, and then 14,000 people show up, let alone a year after that, we're beating 2 MLS teams and almost knocking off a third in the U.S. Open Cup semifinal, to now our 4th season, and we're playing at the highest level in the United States. So there's something special here, and it really does start with the fan base and the passion that they have for this club, and I'm just excited to see where it goes under Ron and Gerard's lead, and there's so many positive things in the future here for FC Cincinnati.
All right, Jimmy. Well, thank you. We're going to bring on another one of your teammates from that night during the Open Cup run.
The legend.
Paul Nicholson is going to join us in just a few minutes. But before that, we're going to hear from a couple other former teammates on that night, Justin Hoyt and Austin Berry.
Yeah, we definitely saw it as a rivalry game. As soon as we got the draw, we saw that we could match up against Columbus. Obviously, we had Louisville first, who was definitely a rivalry, but we were really looking forward for that in-state game.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it was more than just them being from Ohio and being an MLS club. We're not far apart, so for sure it's a rivalry. We wanted it to be a rivalry, and it was.
The one thing we were was very solid defensively. We weren't, we were sitting in, but they had a couple of half chances. But the one thing we were very, very well organized that game. The guys on the field and the guys that came in really pushed us on at the end of the game. So I don't think we were ever worried, in that game.
I remember for the game, I got a pass out wide, and I just remember taking a touch and whipping it in. I saw Gibby in the box, who I know is good in the air, and I don't know how he scored, but he headed it in the air and then jumped over everyone and headed it, in the goal. And at the time, I wasn't sure if I got the assist, but some people say I did, some people say I didn't, But at the end of the day, I crossed the ball and it helped, score the winning goal. And for me, it was a great moment just to see the ball go in the back of the net, and it was a great header from Gibby. And all in all, I think it was just a great team performance, and the noise in the stadium was unbelievable, and one that we'll never forget.
It was very exciting to play that game up in Columbus last week. I think there was that helped give a spark to the boys, and they played really well, and I'm looking forward to playing them at home again this week.
Paul Nicholson joins us now. Jimmy McLaughlin, Alex Tech. Kevin, you look different now. Kevin McCloskey. We've subbed out for Paul Nicholson, who was a part of that night. Our memories resurfacing as you see this Hell is Real derby picking back up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was, there was a lot of sort of pinch myself moments when I was playing for FC Cincinnati, and that's probably right up there with it. So seeing all of this, Columbus coming back to Nippert Stadium, it's really special.
One of the original signings for FC Cincinnati. What was it like being teammates with Jimmy over here?
It was an interesting experience, to be honest with you.
Okay,
Jimmy's a great guy, fantastic player. Learned a lot from him over the 2 years that I was with the club, on and off the field. Learned a lot about him. So yeah, it very special to play with Jimmy and the other guys that were on the squad at that time.
All right, Jimmy, I'll ask you the same thing. What was it like being teammates with Nico?
Incredible. I mean, Nico is he's a very humble guy, but he was an amazing leader for FC Cincinnati over the first 2 seasons, and still to this day hits the best crossfield pass I've ever seen. I mean, something in the English water, they know how to strike a ball, and no, I learned so much from Nico, and again, on and off the field, like he was saying, he's a great role model for everybody in the club and everybody that he coaches now.
When you look back at that game, you think how good the defense was. That's something Austin Berry talked about in that video. Do you remember that specifically from that game, just shutting down the opponent? I mean, Federico Higuain was out there. Columbus put their top players on the field.
Yeah, they did. I think it was a team effort, though. Everyone in the starting 11 was fantastic and motivated to do well for the city. I don't think it was necessarily just the defense. I think the whole group came together. We had a game plan to, really funnel everything into the middle of the park, and it worked out well. They didn't get too many chances, and the chances that we got, we took, and came away with a victory. It was a really special night.
Jimmy talked about his reaction to GB's goal. What was your reaction?
I still remember it. That's one of my clearest visions from my playing career is just going crazy and running probably 90 yards down the field to go celebrate with the boys and screaming my head off like I was a little kid at Christmas. It was crazy. But
did you guys understand the magnitude of the rivalry and what it could create for both teams in Ohio?
Yeah, I think so. It was something that when the draw was out and we'd beaten, I believe it was Louisville in the game before that. The atmosphere around the city started building up, and then when the Bailey walks into the stadium and you hear them, chanting and singing and shouting, it's something special. And there was a lot of special nights that season, but that one really stands out because of those guys. I don't know how Jimmy feels.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it's funny to think about it now because we are in MLS, and I think at this point it feels like we've always been in MLS, but back then we didn't know if we were ever going to get the bid, and moments like that were a big opportunity for the club and the players to prove a point and say, listen, FC Cincinnati, we're MLS ready. We can hang with the best, and so I think that was the excitement of that night and the Chicago night and the Red Bulls night as well. But we knew it was something special for sure when that draw came. It's something the organization was waiting for.
Is that the mentality that you guys approached that match with? Just, we are ready for MLS?
Yeah, I think so. It was, as a club, what they'd done in that short period of time was something amazing. Not necessarily us guys on the field, but the whole club in general. And that was, I think the players understood that this was a real moment for us to show, hey, this is where this club belongs. And, thankfully we got the results, and the rest of the Open Cup run kind of showed that as well. And, just unfortunate we didn't get to the final and really make a statement.
Yeah, I thought we were going to for sure. It felt like we were going to. But no, I mean, I think when you look back on it and you look at that run and just how it came all together, and the trip down to Miami that gets rained out, and then we come back and have to go back there a week later, and it's funny because you even look at the first game of that Open Cup run. I think we played AFC Cleveland, a PDL team, at Nippert, and we went to extra time, and I think we scored in like the 119th minute. So just so many things went our way, and all the hard work really paid off, and everything came together to make a really special run that I think gave FC Cincinnati some of the national attention and credibility that eventually got us into the MLS.
I think as well. You look back at that run and the game against Miami, getting rained out. The squad that was going to play in the first game in Miami was completely different than the squad that actually beat them, and the situations for Miami were completely different as well. They just won the league, and they beat the second place team 7-1, I believe. Yeah. And we were about to play them that week, and it got rained out, and luckily they went on a bad run of form, and we managed to win the game. It's just all the cards lined up just perfect for us.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember the atmosphere for all the games at Nippert during that run, and it really was like nothing I've ever been a part of throughout my whole career. I mean, it truly was special, and I think it's not just the Open Cup run, but I think it is this rivalry with Columbus that truly brings it out from the supporters from both sides, and I think that's something we can expect to see this weekend, this similar type of atmosphere from those games.
So Nico, since retiring, have you had a chance to experience a game in the Bailey?
No, I never went into the Bailey. I never got invited.
Get this guy on the drums, all right?
Come on, guys.
No, they've asked me to come in. I'm a bit scared, to be honest, to go down there. But no, I've been to a few games. Never went in the Bailey, but it's definitely on the bucket list to get in there and get a bit rowdy with those guys.
This game on Sunday might not be the best one to do it the first time. It might be a little rowdier than normal.
Yeah, I'm not ready for it. Definitely not ready for that. The kids, if the kids are coming, then I can't take them in there. So.
Well, what do you think a match like this, winning something like that, could mean for the fans?
It'd be incredible. You know, we knew it wasn't going to be easy coming into the MLS, and just kind of looking in from the outside, it has been a tough season, but you know, spirits are high. We heard the coaches speaking before about that, and I think just getting a victory this weekend would lift everybody, the club, the people in the stadium, and give them some hope that, you know, things are on the up and up. And I truly believe they are, and I truly believe that this club's going to do something special in this league. So, you know, what better way than to get 3 points off Columbus this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, just to echo what Paul was saying, I mean, it's always tough for an expansion team, and the players don't like losing either. I mean, it's been a tough year for honestly everybody, and it takes a toll on the guys. It takes a toll on the locker room, and there's nothing more that we want to do than give the fans a win, especially at home. I mean, they deserve it more than anyone. I mean, they've supported us through this entire season, through all the ups and downs, and they're out there cheering even at the end of the games when we're down a goal or two. So if we can repay them for all their support with a big performance against Columbus, I mean, that would be the ideal scenario, and I know every single person in the locker room and in the organization is doing everything they can to make that happen.
Well, hoping for 3 points on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for joining me, Jimmy McLaughlin, Paul Nicholson, and we're going to show you right now what a win on Sunday would mean to our fans.
Section 133, row 8, seat 5, standing up right behind the net. It was one of the few times I remember getting goosebumps before the match and stuff like that. Just it was the first time we got to see an MLS team, and knowing the amount of support that was going to come, we hadn't seen that from visitors in USL, so we were very happy to have someone else to cheer against.
So I actually was born and raised in Columbus. I was there when they began. Went to a couple games the first season, kind of fell away from it. Never really had a big draw to the Columbus Crew.
I was excited for our opportunity to play an MLS team. I knew it was a big opportunity for our club and for our city, so I was pumped.
Where we are, we're elevated slightly, and there's this split second where you see it go, and it could have been past the post, but the front row reacted, and it was like this wave.
It was chaos. I remember just seeing row after row of the Bailey collapse in on itself, of people just ecstatic.
That was one of the few moments in my life I think I've absolutely lost my mind for a few seconds. I mean, that was just an overwhelming feeling of joy.
They've got a chip on their shoulder from the U.S. Open Cup. You can tell how bad they really started grinding us down the second half there up in Columbus, so I think we need to bring it, and we need to make sure that we stay kings of this rivalry.
The 1 point up in Columbus was nice. They say if you can take one on the road, that's nice, but those 3 at home would be great, and not having to see them until next year. And last time they were here, they weren't real happy when they left, and hopefully we can send them home just the same way.
Welcome into the final segment of the pre-match meeting live from Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. We are now joined by GM Gerard Nijkamp and Kevin McCloskey, Alex Sack. Gerard, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to give some tickets away at the end of this segment, so stay tuned. We're going to tell you how to win those, as well as this scarf. Kevin, I noticed your beard
I'm behind.
is not
what can I
quite
say?
as low.
I'm a lightweight, so.
I miss the water, so I don't start drinking beer.
So Gerard, you got to go to your first Bengals game yesterday.
Sorry?
You got to go to your first.
Pre-match, first match in preseason, and it was great. A lot of people on the pitch and also in the stand. We were surprised. I hear for traveling New York they use 2 airplanes, and yeah, it was awesome.
How was it was your first American football experience?
Yes, it was. Also for my 2 children, Ika and Yabatse, they joined me. And yeah, it's nice to see different sports, what we're not familiar with in the Netherlands. Sunday we were at the baseball game, was also a nice match to watch. And everything what's happening off the pitch, there's a little bit different than with football. We have in football more focus what's happening inside the pitch. So it's a great experience.
I've got to ask you a question. Did you understand the rules of those games, both games? I'm still struggling a little bit.
I'm a lucky guy because my son knows all the rules from baseball.
Okay.
And yesterday it was a little bit more challenging, but by seeing the match and a little bit making analysis about it, yeah, we get an understanding about the rules.
And you've had a little bit more time than Ron at this point. How are you liking Cincinnati and how are you settling in?
Yeah, quite well. I have now found my apartment. I know now the way to the supermarket, some good restaurants, and the way to Milford.
Yeah.
I can do it with my eyes closed, so that's the most important thing.
That doesn't sound safe, no.
I'm going to jump in with some serious questions, all right? So with your job as GM, very complex job, right? You have a lot of oversight, a lot of different areas as well. How do you organize all of that? How do you stay balanced in your job?
First of all, to communicate with all the different departments. We try to implement an organization and a structure, and of course on the basis of a philosophy where we all feel good about it. So that means communication is key. And I think now in the weeks, months, we are working on that. We're coming closer and closer in the way we want that philosophy to be implemented in our organization. And in a few weeks, we will tell more about that.
Yeah.
Have you seen a small shift already in that philosophy being implemented not only off the field but also on the field?
Yeah, it's difficult to say because I think we make a lot of progress in the way how we want to build the organization and the structure, but it's all behind the scenes. Of course, our supporters, they want to see results in the pitch because we want to be a winning team, and that takes more time, and that's normal because we are just starting a process. And a traject, and from there on we have to build step by step. But it's important that we see progress, and also with the first team in the way how we want to play. Yesterday I had a very nice meeting with a part of the supporters group, and they talk about we want to play high press. So that's something we show already, and especially Ron with his technical staff, and that we want that to show and to see the people what we want to do on the inside the pitch.
So obviously you've been in Europe for a long time and looking at that level of play. How does that transition? How does that compare to what you've seen so far in MLS? Style of play, some of the trends maybe that have come out in the game as well. How does that compare for you?
Yeah. Of course, there are some differences, but also some things what is the same in the Netherlands or in other countries in Europe. It's of course in the same style of there are 4 head moments. We have the ball, we don't have the ball. There's transition. Maybe there is some more transition in the MLS than we have in the Netherlands. In Netherlands, sometimes a little bit more quiet. Keeping the ball, Ron mentioned we have to keep the ball a little bit more, do the simple things easier, and from there on go from build up to attack. it's also the working ethic, the mental strength. Every try to work hard, it's very important, but keep it also ball position, keep calm sometimes, helps also for a good result. That are a little bit the difference, but also a lot of similarities.
A big rivalry match coming up on Sunday against the Columbus Crew. When you were at Pexwola, was there a big derby matchup that you guys had?
Yes, we had a very big match. There was 30 kilometers distance. What is it?
I don't know how many miles.
15 miles, 10 miles.
30 kilometers, yeah, probably about 20, 22.
Yeah, like that. So
That sounds good.
It was very. We are agree on that.
Close enough.
Sounds right.
Yes, no, but there was a big rival, and I told also yesterday in my meeting with the supporters. For supporters is not always winning a league, an MLS club or the highest position in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, but winning that match and especially home, it's very, very important for the supporters, for the city, and to show your rival that you are better than them, and for at least when we play against the away game. And that's, I think, what we have to keep in our mind when we go inside the pitch Sunday. And I think the boys are ready.
Yeah. I think, you talk about the emotion involved as well. What are some keys for even just your staff of keeping them kind of level keel as they go into a game? Because it's easy to get carried away with the emotion of Sunday's game, right? What are some keys for you? It's like, okay, just approach it, the same way as you'd approach maybe any game.
Yeah, what I hear from Ron before, it's about to work on the process of to build the playing style, and that's also what's happening this week. They are trying to improve day in, day out, 24/7, to talk about the game, to make it visible inside the match, to talk about the opponent, not too much, because we want to be dominant, we want to be our own boss in our own stadium. So to do that, you keep also a little bit the emotion and the stress away, but there will be also a motivation talk 1 hour before the match, and to be aware of the importance of this match. So it's building up till the moment they have to go inside the pitch.
Looking forward to it. I'm already motivated for Sunday, and it's just Friday.
I can't wait.
Gerard Nijkamp, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the time. Thank you guys for coming out to Buffalo Wings and Rings in Oakley. We appreciate it. If you want to come back here August 31st, we are going to host our official watch party here for the match against Dallas. Remember, it is Heineken Rivalry Week, so we're going to have Heineken specials at the stadium. There's events all throughout the weekend. Make sure you're staying tuned to social media for all of our coverage of this rivalry match coming up on Sunday. Now, the tickets, if you want to win them, the key words are Ohio is orange and blue. So make sure you tweet that phrase with our hashtag Ohio is orange and blue, and these tickets and that scarf are yours. So kickoff is going to be at 6 o'clock. It's not 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Tell all of your friends. And of course, we're going to have a party at the pitch starting at 4 o'clock. So get out to Nippert Stadium early on Sunday. We want to have the stands full and show Cincinnati well on national TV. For Kevin McCloskey, I'm Alex Seck. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.